All right, this can be a quick little video on how to move from a graphical representation to an arrow diagram representation of a transformation, and then finally to a symbolic equation for that. So what I've got set up here is one small function over here in the black. It isn't something, it's not even a function, but we're going to call it f anyway, and that's where we're going to start, and we're going to transform that into the red function here. So to begin with, we know that we're going to be making transformations to f on this, and f has some points that we'll put in there in a second, but we want to look generally here. It looks like that we need to get taller, and we need to get wider, and we need to move to the right, and we need to move up. So there's four possible transformations that I see happening in there. Taller is a vertical thing, wider is horizontal, right is horizontal, and up is vertical. So on my arrow diagram, I'm going to put a couple of arrows over here on the vertical side, and I'll put a couple of arrows over here on the horizontal transformation side. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm going to grab some points. The points on my parent over here are at -1, 0. I've got one at 0, 2. I'll put them in connect the dots order. I've got one at 0, -3, at 1, 0, and at 2, 0. The corresponding points on the graph that I'm aiming for, I've got one right here. Thought that might help me out, didn't. That point is at 1, 4. So I know that after the transformations, an input of 1 has to give me an output of 4, and that corresponds to that farthest left point on here. From there, we go up to the highest point on the graph, which is at 4, 8. And then to the lowest point on the graph, which is at 4, -2. And we've got then the point before it goes horizontal is at 7, 4. And then finally we are at 10, 4. And so the arrows that we have to change these lists in the middle into the lists on the side. What typically works best, this can be done in a variety of ways, but the best way is to fix the size of the gaps first. So when I look right here, I have a gap of 2, and over here I have a gap of 4. So the gap on the right over here is twice as big, so I'm going to multiply by 2 to make all these gaps twice as big when they get over there. So that'll give me a 0, a 4, a -6, a 0, and a 0. And then if I look at that, and I can see that's my make it taller part. And then 0 to 4, if I added 4 to everything over here, adding 4 that way and there and there and there, all of that would change this list of numbers into this list of numbers. Okay. Going in the other direction, I'm going to analyze my gaps. Again, the gaps here is 1, but over here it's 3. So I'm going to multiply by 3. That'll make this a -3, 0, 0, 3, and 6. And when I look at that, I then need to add 4 onto everything on this side, and that will change those into that list of numbers. So this one becomes then that list of numbers. And so I've got my transformation here. I could list exactly what these are. This taller is actually a vertical stretch by 2. The wider is a horizontal stretch by 3. To the right, it moves to the right exactly 4 places. Okay, 4 places to the right because of this 4 over there, not the one on the other side. And it is 4 places up because of this 4 over there on the output side. Okay, so I'm going to describe the transformations that are in there. I've got the arrow diagram that makes it happen. And let's go ahead and write what the formula for this would be. In writing the formula for this, I need to start with my x's over here. This would be a -4 on that arrow, a divided by 3 on that arrow. So if I start with the x, and let me see, I'm going to clear out a little bit of space here quickly. Not that way. And grab this bit, shrink that up, and get it out of the way so I can focus on what we're doing over here. And we're going to start with an x, and it says subtract 4, divide by 3, put that into our relation f, which of course I've now destroyed over here. So I think I can maybe fix that, maybe. There, that out of the way. Put that into the relation f, which converts it right along this. I multiply that whole thing by 2 and then add 4. So this is my formula that will accomplish this transformation that we're looking at right there. So we went graph to arrow diagram to written explanation to symbolic form, all in those things. So that is what we need to do for those.